All right, guys, welcome back to Life in Omaha. Again, I'm Christian, this is Tyson. We are local agents here in the Omaha Metro area. And this channel is brought specifically to people looking at moving here, have questions about the area, things like that. We are full-time licensed agents in the area. We love making videos, but we like even more helping you when you come here, and we work with so many of you guys, and we absolutely love it. So if you're moving to the area, click the link below that says schedule a call with us, call us, text us, email us, whatever's best for you. We're happy to help. We got your back covered on anything when moving to Omaha. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, today, guys, we're going to talk about some things they don't tell you when you're moving here, like kind of like the
I wish I knew before.
Yeah, I wish I knew before I moved here, that kind of thing. I'm gonna kind of kick it off with one thing that surprised me coming from out of state. I used to live in South Dakota, is housing prices. You know, when I first started looking in Omaha, I was like, oh, I can find something for $200, $250.
Yeah.
It almost makes me laugh now.
Yeah.
Housing prices are expensive here, guys. They're not cheap, and most of the nation's this way now. But to get a good house, Tyson, you're gonna spend at least $400,000 to $500,000 on a decent house in a good neighborhood.
And when you say decent house, we're talking about, you want your prototypical family style home, four bedroom, three bath,
two to three car garage.
Yeah, yeah. So decent is a relative term, but if you want like that full live-in, you're kind of established
Suburbia.
family, established style house, you are going to be spending, $400,000 or $500,000 on a house potentially.
Yeah. And you can find, like, there's a couple builders here that you can find stuff from the $330 to $400 range for like a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, brand new.
Yeah.
Nice finishes, things like that. But for that more established and a little bit higher end houses, you're for sure going to spend that $400 to $500.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and another thing that I was going to talk about is weather. This is kind of a given, but given the weather patterns here, we have a winter. We have a pretty extreme winter. We have a lot of cloudy, cold days in the winter and fall, right? And sometimes early spring.
Yeah, people kind of joke of how long the gray's gonna last in that time frame. Really starting in December, and it goes till potentially, golf courses didn't even open up until this month, which usually they're opening up early March, so it can kind of vary, and then summer can kind of just hit you in the face once winter's over. Sometimes you don't get a long spring, which a lot of people like that spring feeling with like the nice rain showers and the fresh smell of the growth. Well, sometimes we don't get that. We just go right into the heat. It's already 85 degrees today. And a week and a half ago, it was literally 30.
And we're in early April right now if you're watching this other time, but this weather's perfect. But also, it can get pretty hot in the summer when I've been here.
Oh, my gosh.
You can get in the 90s easily and decently humid.
Yeah.
Not extremely humid like you're from the south or Florida or something like that, but pretty humid.
Yeah. I feel like everybody that comes here, that comes from the south, it's a different heat. It's a different heat up here. Well, or it's, if you're down in Arizona, well, it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
I don't care what you say. If it's 120 degrees, it's 120 degrees, all right?
It doesn't get 100.
No, it did not here, but down in the south it does. Here we get, you get a strong 95 degrees for a number of days in a row, strong humidity, but it does. We get the whole fluctuation through the winter and through the summer months, but a lot of people like the changing seasons too, and I think that's what a lot of people like here, is that kind of variation.
Totally. Them laughing in the background.
Hey, one thing that we want to highlight is this is a big, small city. You get a feeling that, yes, it's a sprawling kind of metropolitan area.
There's over 1 million people in the metro.
Yeah, big downtown center, a lot of stuff going on, but it really spreads out, and a lot of people are from the neighboring small agricultural communities around the state. So you get people that grew up with graduating classes of like 15, 20, 100, maybe a couple hundred at most. They moved to the big city, which is Omaha for them, from communities of 10, 15, 20, 35,000 people. And so you still have a lot of that small town vibe of a lot of people being very courteous. To be a good neighbor, you have to be a good neighbor. To have good neighbors, you have to be a good neighbor. So you get a lot of that really welcoming vibe from people that are around the city and understanding what that feels like.
And I would say the other side of that big small town city is it can also be a small town and it feels like a lot of people know everybody. Like, there's a lot of the family names here, things like that of like you wouldn't see like if you're in a Denver where there's like millions upon millions, or Arizona, Phoenix area. There's not going to be that whole like, oh, what's that family, or who's your family? You know what I mean? There's more of that small town feel in a good way and sometimes a bad way if you don't like that kind of thing. In Omaha, I feel that. Do you agree?
Yeah, and with the city having two major universities, University of Nebraska Omaha, University of Creighton, which is prominent here, and then also with the University of Nebraska Lincoln, which is the largest university just down the street, about 45 minutes, you get a lot of people being like, oh, what high school did you go to? What grade school did you go to? And I'm like, me not being from here, I'm like, why do you care where I went to grade school? You know, so there is some of that nuance here in this area that you can kind of get past, and it can be as big of a city by being just going about your business, or it can be a really small town feel by getting really involved in your
little local community. Yeah, it feels like each pocket that you live in, like West Omaha, Elkhorn, wherever you are, Bellevue, you're kind of in your little pocket, right? You kind of, like, I remember when I first moved here, you said Omaha can get small really fast. Yeah. And I think it's so true that you can get kind of sucked into your little area. Maybe that's in every town, but definitely feels that way here for me.
Well, I definitely notice when when my wife goes to the store, and I'm always like, she comes home or I went to the store, she said, oh, did you see anybody at the store today? You know, I mean, I remember that was something that was said in my home when I was growing up, and that was a town of 20,000 people. So now it's being said here, it's a city the size of 850 to 1 million people, and you're still saying it because it does feel like a small town.
Totally. All right, one thing I consider a negative coming from a smaller area than this, it can take you about 25 minutes to get from side to side in town, sometimes 30 minutes, right, if you get a little bit of traffic, to get from one end of Omaha to another. If you're coming from a big town, you're probably like, that sounds amazing. But for me, coming from like a town where it takes 10 minutes to get across town, that was a negative for me, and that was something that I was like, oh my gosh. All right, we had a camera malfunction, but we are back on my iPhone, and we are getting to get the rest of this video. So, okay, what were we at on that? We said 25 minutes to get across town. And Tyson, you were about to jump in with.
Well, the one thing that city has not done a very good job of is accommodating people traveling from northwest Omaha all the way down to southeast Omaha, Bellevue area. That can be the longest. So you're looking like 25, 30 minutes, 35 minutes from edge to edge. All of our traffic, the city's built on a grid system, which is great, but largely accommodates east to west traffic, not direct diagonal travel. So east to west, we have the major thoroughfare of Dodge Street, Center, Pacific, and even Maple. But if you're traveling at a diagonal, it makes it really hard to get down there. And
good point. Very good point.
One last thing that we want to talk about too is that there's a large contingent of parochial schools here. In comparison to a city like Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is considered larger than us, we have more Catholic schools per capita than a city of that size with like 2.5, 3 million people. So something to think about too, there's a lot of options when it comes to private schooling or diversification of our education system. It's very Christian conservative for the most part, or it feels like that with the number of churches. We have non-denominational and Catholic churches. A lot of the communities can be kind of embracing their local parish a lot of times, where people will stick close to that.
I would say it's a very faith-based city. Definitely. And there's also the tri-faith area here, which is a pretty cool thing. Tyson can tell you a little bit.
The tri-faith area has brings together 3 giant different religions, which is the Judaism, and they have the Muslim, and they have the Christian, all in one giant city center block. And they're
all basically connected, right?
Yeah, they're all connected by a series of pathways or improved road system. Pretty cool to kind of say, hey, we're all kind of in this together, and we're here for our people.
All right, guys, that is all we got for you today. Again, thanks so much for watching this. We are, again, full-time local real estate agents here in the Omaha area. So if you got any questions, you're looking at moving here, we got your back covered on anything when moving to Omaha. Click the link below for any of our info. Call, text, email us, whatever's best for you, or hit the link below that says schedule a call with us. Happy to help you in any way I can. See you next week. Peace.